Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the fifth video series on our Zmartbit presentation. I'm sure by now you've looked at a lot of videos online speaking about Zmartbit, and today what we're going to try to cover is how to be successful in this particular program. So we're going to go through step by step and showing you exactly how you can use your cell phone and how you can basically reprogram your mind and some of your beliefs for success. And we'll start using some of these tools as we move forward. Okay, so let's get started. Let's go to the very beginning. Start from the beginning right here. Okay, great, wonderful. All right, so again, we've covered most of this in some of the previous videos, so I'm not going to go over a lot of it. I'm going to go through it rather quickly. So for those of you who are looking at this for the first time and are wondering what we're talking about this new software that's called Zmartbit with a Z. And the main site is www, as you can see here, zmartbit.com with a Z. So that will take you to the main page where you can log in. Now, in order to log in, you need to obviously have an account. So whoever it is that referred you to watch this video, absolutely get in touch with them. Let them send you their link to join. And so you can be a part of this great program. Another way that you can gain access to this from your cell phone is by going to this website, https://smartsoftware.now.site. And again, I've referred to this many times in other videos. This is primarily for your cell phone, so you're able to access this from your cell phone. It's our team website. And right at the top of here, you see these three buttons. You want to click on that and you want to add this to your home screen. That would allow you to access it from your cell phone at any time. So it would end up looking something like this, okay, that we have right here. And again, today we're going to concentrate a lot on using this tool, which is your cell phone, which most of you have at all times. Now, one of the things I'd like you to do in terms of being able to access and use your cell phone as a business tool is if you have an Android phone, you can just go to the Play Store and download a QR code reader like you see right here. Now, you can choose any one that you like. I happen to use this one that's called QR and barcode scanner, so you can use that if you wish. But you can play around with the one that you like best, and then you can just keep that by, again, adding it to your home screen. Now, another thing that I do personally in order to help me to motivate me and get me going forward is using the smartphone is by using the screensaver. Now, I happen to use this as a motivational tool for myself. It's actually the tail end of a private jet, as you can see. And for me, that's one of my business goals, and we're going to be talking a little bit about that today. And as you can see, my name is on it. Doesn't mean that I own this particular private jet. It just means that I'm using this image as a way to advertise to my mind in terms of being able to achieve my goal. And simply because it's on my phone every day, I can look at that image and it reminds me of where I want to go, right? It gives me a destination point, okay? Just like a ship leaving the harbor, it has a destination point before it leaves port. Because if it doesn't have a destination and it just starts the engine and start wandering out into the ocean, it will end up running out of gas for sure, or diesel, or whatever it's using, or just end up derelict somewhere because there's no plans. It just gets tossed about by the oceans, okay? So what we want to do is to be able to use the tool, have a specific destination in mind, i.e. in terms of being able to make quite a lot of money using this particular software. And again, for those of you who may not know exactly what we're talking about, if you're looking at this for the first time, you perhaps have seen this only video. We're talking about joining Zmartbit software. The cost is $260. $10 of it go towards the software developers, and from the $250, 50% commission is made. You earn 50% of that, goes to you and to your upline. So again, I refer to previous videos. Now today we're going to talk a little bit about money. And if I said to you, what is money? Most people will say to me, well, wait, that's a very silly question. Like, everybody knows what money is, but do they? most people refer to money as what they have in their pockets. You say, well, I have a few $100s in my pocket or several dollars and coins and et cetera, et cetera. But would it shock you to know that that is not money? Would it shock you to know that that is currency? That's why they call it currency trading. Money means something completely different to what most people understand it to mean. And that's one of the things that we're going to be talking about. Now, you've heard this a lot of times. You hear a lot of people say it, hey, money doesn't grow on trees. And I'm sure you've heard that many, many times. Now, most people that talk like that and believe that are people who literally don't have any money. What they're talking about is scarcity. They're saying and programming to the people listening to that is that we don't have a lot of money. Money is very scarce around here. I can't just go out, outside and pick it from my backyard like I can pick a fruit. But interestingly enough, the wealthy people say money does grow on trees. You just have to know where to plant it. And obviously you have to plant a money tree. This is why they call it seed capital. So if you have some seed capital and you plant it, then it may be like these guys where it's going to grow. And the idea is that when it bears fruit, you can go ahead and pick it. But you say, well, Wayne, that's a ridiculous picture. Is it really? Okay, let's examine that theory. Let's just challenge it a little bit. So then you may ask, well, is Bitcoin money? Very important question. Is Bitcoin money? Well, we've covered a little bit about that before, and we see that there's over $1 billion of people actually putting currency into Bitcoin, into this digital format, right? And we think that it's here to stay, as I said in previous videos. So again, you might want to have a look at that. What about this? Is this money? This used to be used as money back in the old days, and today it is actually real money. Okay, this is probably one of the purest representation of money. But if I said to you that we're going to go downtown and we're going to buy some hot dogs from the hot dog stand, and we had bars of gold like that in our pocket, how much of it can we use in order to buy that hot dog? And how exactly would you divide it? Would you break it up into little pieces, hit it on the sidewalk and chip off a little piece of it and hand it to the vendor? That's not too practical, is it? Right? But what if we kept it as a store of value, and then we had the currency that attached to it, that as we use the currency in and out, it will just keep track and go back to this. This is kind of like what Bitcoin is today. Okay, it's like digital gold, right? And when you think about it, if you walk into the bank and you withdraw some funds from your bank account, if you think about that transaction, that teller, as she looks in your account, it literally is just numbers on a computer screen in the bank. So when she takes it out and she hands the currency to you, she's actually doing a conversion. She's converting it from the digital side into the paper currency side that you have in your pocket right now, right? But we're moving towards what people refer to as a cashless society, which means that all the money that you're going to work for, that you're going to own in North America and in the West, as they say, would one day be numbers on your phone and on a computer screen, and you'll be able to transfer them from one to the other. And that's why we're looking at this particular medium called Bitcoin, right? Now, there are laws governing money, and we don't have time to go into all of that, but what I'm presenting you here with is a QR code. And we talked about the QR code a moment ago. By just scanning this and watching this video on YouTube, you will learn about the laws of money. And there is definitely laws governing money. And this is one of the formulas right here. FG plus E equals I. I want you guys to find out what that is. So as you're watching this video on YouTube, you might want to pause it, take your phone out, use that QR code and scan it. Okay, and just watch that video. It will start to prepare your mind to accept wealth as you apply this to this particular opportunity. And here's an example. So let's say that you have acquired lots of Bitcoin in your wallet, and this is your account balance. And we went downtown Toronto, for example, because I happen to be living in Canada. So we go downtown to Toronto, we find a Bitcoin machine like this that can both buy and sell. I point this phone at it, and then I decided $1,000 that I want to withdraw. Now, what happens in that instant is that it's exactly the same like walking into a bank. The only difference is I don't need the teller. I don't even need the bank, right? I walk up to it, I point it at it, and that machine will now spit out $1,000 in currency to me. Okay, if I'm in Canada, it's going to spit out Canadian dollars. If I got on a plane and went to the UK, went to the same type of machine, pointed my phone at it, it's going to spit out what? British pounds, of course. If I went to Nigeria, it'd be the Nigerian naira, or any other country that I go to in the world with the same cell phone, it's going to spit out the currency for that particular country. So then I ask you the question again, what is money? It's food for thought. Okay, so as you go along, you're going to be able to study it and understand it in greater detail. So for today, what we want to do is to learn how to take this device that we have in our hand, and we want to use it as a tool to generate for us income, okay, that would end up in our Bitcoin wallet using Zmartbit. So if you haven't joined already, I would suggest that you pause this video and you go and look in your email. Your friend who have asked you to watch this video might have sent his link, his or her link to you using email. They might have sent it through Messenger. And then this one that you see here is perhaps that link that's coming in for you to join right now, or WhatsApp, or by whatever means they have sent it to you. Okay, when you tap on it in your phone, you're going to see the sign up link that looks just like this, or very similar to this. It will be that person's code, right? Then you put your username. If you're when you're signing up, you put your Bitcoin wallet receiving address, and this is how you're going to get paid, right? You're putting it into the system that whenever someone pays you, it's going to instantly go into your wallet. Okay, your email address, you choose a password. Of course, you confirm the password, agree to the terms and conditions, and then click create my account. Very, very simple. All of this done within just a few minutes. Okay, and then you will be presented with a purchase order and a QR code that looks like this. I call it a point of sale. You simply take your phone out, right? And then you go to your Bitcoin wallet. And in some cases, right at the top corner, you will see something that represents sort of like a QR code. When you tap on that, it's going to access the camera in your cell phone. And then it's going to grab that QR code right away, okay? And then you will see that it may put the US dollar value that's here. Now, I want you to do me a favor when you're doing this. Be sure not to use this side of the equation to type in 260. The system works way better when you use the BTC side of the equation, as you could see here. So when you point it at your phone and it grabs the link, you want to manually type in this number. It might be 0.00321 something, whatever that is, manually type it in. Don't even copy and paste it. Just manually type it in, whether it's 0.03 or 003, depending on when you're looking at this video, because as the Bitcoin prices increases and rise, you will notice that there are more zeros that's being added behind that 0.00. Okay, it might be 03 right now, depending on when you're watching this video, it could be 0.0003. This is why it's very important to manually type it in. Now, the second thing that you may want to pay attention to is this little button right here at the bottom, okay? It has, when you click on the drop down, it has regular and it has priority. Think of it like snail mail, which you use through the post office, or a courier service like FedEx or UPS. One is priority, the other is not such a priority, right? So if you're doing this, you want this to be a priority payment. You want it to be done as soon as possible. So by choosing priority and clicking continue, it's going to process it very, very quickly. Now you might notice that it's charging you a few cents more, or depending on when you're watching this video, a couple of dollars more, but it is well worth it because it's going to process it instantly and right before your eyes that you will see that the payment is accepted, and obviously instantly two people are going to be paid a commission from this. Or if someone in your downline is following this video or perhaps following this instruction, then of course you would be paid directly as well, right? Now this is what it looks like in the back office if you've never seen this before, and I'm going to just touch on it very briefly. This is from your point of view. And let's say Bitcoin King was someone who joined you and they just purchased that software license. Then, of course, you would earn 125 or 50% of that commission. Now, as him or her starts, selling these software license to others, then obviously, in this case, he will earn 125 and so would you. Okay, so a lot of people might say, hey, I know what this is. It looks like this. Well, refer to my other video on what pyramid structure is all about. And then you will gain some real education and knowledge from that. Now, most of us do this for a living, basically basing our income on 18th century technology. Now, as I said before, if you haven't noticed, we're living in the 20th century. So rather than depending on one single paycheck, which is, not very wise in this era, right? If this happens to you where you suddenly get fired, then 100% of your income is gone. Okay, and that could be after what, 5, 10, 15, 20, 40 years, hopefully not much longer than that, right? But if this doesn't happen to you, it doesn't matter at what point you're starting, you can use what we're saying by watching this video, watching this series of video, participating and be able to change your financial future. Now, this is what we're basing our current model on, people who just have a job, right? Where you're a hardworking employee and you're working to support the CEO. Of course, what chance do you have of becoming the CEO of a maid? Not very much, right? Because you answer to a supervisor or answer to a middle manager, etc. So there's nothing wrong with this pyramid structure. Everything would look like that, as I've said in previous videos. What you want to learn to do is how to become the CEO of your own business, of your own opportunity using the Zmartbit so that you can replace a paycheck like this very, very quickly. So this is a slide that basically shows you that from the 1800s, that's the manufacturing era. From 2000, we're in now the 20th century, okay? And as of today, it's 2020. So we're 20 years into the 20th century. And all of us is connected with this device right here. The little smartphone, the little cell phone that we're showing you how you can use it in order to better your financial future. And there's absolutely a better way, right? Technology like your smartphone or mobile phone, as it's called in some places, can literally make you rich. So you want to be able to prepare your mind to handle wealth. Now, when most people think of becoming wealthy, this is the picture that they have in mind of winning the lottery. Now, lots of people dream about winning the lottery. We just have to look at how many people here that have watched this particular video, over 6.4 million views that it received on YouTube. So we have examples where people have won large amounts of money, and because they were unprepared for it, they spent a lot of time dreaming about winning. They spent a lot of time playing the lottery, but not very much time actually preparing for what will happen if they actually did win. And unfortunately, for some people, this represents that image. Okay, cheers to living the good life, right? Things like that is what you hear. Easy come, easy go. These are all thoughts that are programmed for people who believe these things to fail. When you interview these people, you will hear one thing that's consistent. Some people even go as far as to say it's the worst thing that's ever happened to them. But what's consistent is that they say to themselves, I thought it would never end. Right? And that is very consistent right across the board. So guys, you don't want to be able, you don't want to make those mistakes, okay? And look at this. Now, most people think, wow, if I ever had a check that big, $528 million, that is $500 million. Wow, I'd be the happiest person in the world. And a lot of these people that have won large sums, again, with very limited beliefs, they don't happen to hang on to it very long. Again, not because of the amount, but because of the mind. They have not prepared their minds for it. So we want to learn how to succeed. And if we take quotations like this that we have here quoted by John C. Maxwell, it says that a wise person learns from his mistakes. A wiser one learns from others' mistakes. But the wisest person of all learns from others' successes, okay? So not only do you learn from your mistakes or the mistakes of others, but you want to study the success formula. You want to study how people become successful. You want to emulate them. You want to start doing the things that they do. And obviously, over time, you yourself would become very successful. Now, here's an example of some people that have actually won the lottery and have had their mind already prepared for success. And they've actually used that preparation in order to hang on to it for a long period of time. So what I'm suggesting, guys, is that you scan this QR code and have a look and just study how these people are able to move forward, not because of the amount that they have won, but also because they have been prepared for it. Now, in this particular opportunity, you may say, well, Wayne, can I possibly make this kind of income even with our opportunity? Absolutely, you can. This is the greatest transfer of wealth in the history of mankind. Simply put, it means from using paper money, which have been used for centuries, we're now moving from paper to a digital format, right? And that's where the whole trend is moving. So if you're in the middle of that trend and you're a very beginning of that trend, especially, for example, using Bitcoin, you would notice that a part of this can definitely end up in your pocket. So you might say, well, mathematically, how does that work? Well, let's put it this way. If you were able to help 1,000 people in the next 5 to 10 years in your organization become millionaires, 1,000 people becoming millionaires, and you are obviously connected to them because they're part of your organization. And if you earn 50% of that 1 million, what would that be? Well, it means that your paycheck would be larger than this, okay? Because 1,000 million equals 1 billion. And if you help 1,000 people to become millionaires and you receive 50% of that as a commission to you, then absolutely your check, your income that you receive will be larger than this. So it's a mathematical certainty. Now, a lot of people don't have such big dreams. But what I would say to them, aim as high as you can possibly go. Because if you miss, you aim for the trees, you're not going to get off the ground, basically. Okay, if you aim for the clouds and you miss, you probably just end up just above the trees. But if you aim for the stars, as one of my teachers in high school told me, if you aim for the stars and you miss, you will still end up way above the clouds. So guys, it's a very, very good mantra to follow. Now, here's an example of a QR code. If you want to learn how to be rich, you want to learn how to be successful, simply pause the video, scan this QR code, and watch this video. It's going to start training you and putting your mindset in the right place. And with all the stars being aligned, as I like to say from time to time, with the whole trend moving from paper currency to a digital format, we being at the very beginning of this whole trend with the Zmartbit opportunity, just a few months launch, it gives us perhaps the greatest advantage and opportunity in being able to apply this over time. Of course, we talked about time leverage before in previous videos, just working 1 hour a day, how you can use what very wealthy people have known for centuries. And by using this device, our generation, and today, anyone who has this smart device in their hands and learn to use it to pay you, right? You're the master. It is the servant, okay? Rather than just paying that bill every month, why not let the phone pay for itself, okay? By just applying a little bit of seed capital and by using leverage, not just of time, but also by being in connection with multiple groups of people. Okay, here we're showing a simple example of 4, 16, 32. Just on these 3 lines alone, you have not just more than 32 hours worth of time, but this is roughly about 52 hours, 2 days work of time. So you're leveraging time, you're leveraging a little bit of money, and you're leveraging the efforts of over 50-something people to help you to create the income. And as they leverage the efforts of at least 1% of the efforts of 100 people, like J. Paul Getty says, over time, absolutely just being able to apply this over and over, and by doing this day in and day out, you will absolutely achieve your goals and your success. Okay, and definitely, guys, an easy way to do this as well is to create a business plan. Doesn't have to be fancy, just simply on paper, writing down your goals, writing down what you will be doing for that 1 hour per day. right? When you first start, you may have to put more time into it. And it is wise within the first 90 days of starting up this opportunity that you want to expose as much of it as possible and spend as much time within the first 90 days so that that seed can be planted and watered and taken care of properly. Of course, we've covered this also in previous videos, so I'm not going to go through that in much details, right? Because we've covered it already. So just refer back to previous videos of how we're able to use leverage. What we want to do is plant seeds like this, and we want to be able to grow your business network of sales rep using these three principles: knowledge, which you're gaining through watching these videos; practice, you're starting to take that knowledge and you're starting to apply it by sending out those text messages, by sending out, whether it's WhatsApp or whatever, by posting it online, by using the technology to your advantage to create the income that you're looking for. And once you've practiced it many times, of course, applying it in real time and having the skill to do that will absolutely allow it to grow. Just like this person who is taking care of these plants, it needs water, it needs sunlight. By providing the environment for your network of business sales reps to grow, absolutely it would help you to achieve your success. And within the Zmartbit system, these are the ranks of growth. First, you start at white when you first start. Then the system prompts you after you've earned between 750 plus or more, right? It prompts you to upgrade to the next level, which is verde or green, okay? And again, you earn another 50% of this 250 commission. And then the people in your downline also upgrade. They upgrade to yellow, $500 commission. Again, you earn 50% of that. The next one from there is orange. Okay, and again, you can see you earn 50% of that 1,000 as your people upgrade and grow. Okay, then blue, then morando, bronze, plata, oro, and platino. So as you can see, all the way up to bronze, that $8,000, that's 50% of that, right? So if you do the math, based on just this very simple example, if you had 4 people that are upgrading at $2,000 to blue, and these 4 and these 16, just using this simple example, that means that you would earn what? That would be 1,000 times 4, right? That's $4,000. And these 16, when they're upgrading, that would be 1,000 times 16. That's $16,000. So 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. That's $20,000 just on this alone. Same here. $4,000, that's 50% of this commission. That's $2,000, right? So that's $2,000 times 4. $2,000 times 16. And as you can see, as your group progresses through the ranks, you're earning 50% commission of what's shown here. Fantastic, absolutely great system, the way that it's all set up. So now just before I end this, what I'm going to do is log into a live back office. So I can basically just show you very simply what a live back office looks like and how you can use it to your advantage, just to show you around a little bit as you move forward. So this is a very, very, very simple system. And this is an example, a live example of a back office. So it shows here where funds that are passing through the account on its way to your wallet, okay? The funds do not stay in this account or in the back office of the company, as I mentioned before. It actually just keeps track of what's been paid to you. All right. And again, if you refer to previous videos, it's going to cover this in much more details. So it just shows you as you expand your network of people, right, and your network of salespeople, as they make a sale, you will see that it says connection. So this example means that 2 of the 4 licenses were sold here. And this is an example of 1 of the 4. And of course, this one is none at the moment. So it gives you or me or anyone else who has a back office like this the opportunity to be able to take this to the next level. So let's just do some very, very quick math here, guys. The simplest way to do this is by reaching out and working just 1 hour a day to anyone in your immediate network. And let's say you were to earn $125 per day times 7 days a week. That gives you what, $875 a week, which is pretty good. But you might say, well, you know what if I only did 5? So 125 times 5 days a week still gives you over $625, pretty much replacing that single paycheck that we talked about just a little bit earlier. But for those of you who want to earn more, you might say, well, wait, that's great, that's a good start, but how do I make more? Very simply, the more that you help other people progress through the ranks, as you notice, when I mentioned going from the green to the blue, etc., those payments were a little bit higher. But let's look at what happens as your people begin to upgrade. For example, the $1,000 commission, which is 50% of that 2,000, times, let's say, even the 4 people that you brought in, that's $4,000. Okay, now those same people are going to go through and they're 16, right? Again, just simple math. $1,000, okay, times 16 equals, that's $16,000. Very, very easy. But what happens when it starts to get a little bit bigger as they progress through the ranks, through the Platino, etc., the very highest rank, which is $8,000. So just let's look at what happens when you're gaining 50% of that 8,000, which is $4,000, and the 4 people that you refer, just keep it simple, simple numbers. So those 4 people that you brought in were to upgrade, they got to the platinum level. So that's 4,000 times, what is that, 4, right? How much is that? $16,000. Well, what happens when the 16 people also upgrade? 16 times 4, or rather 2. So let's do that again. So 16 times 2,000 equals 32,000. So guys, do you see how, as this progresses through the system and you basically graduate your people through this program, you can see how this becomes very, very lucrative moving forward. And as I said, the more people that you help, the system will just automatically take care of those payments for you. So now that you have a really good understanding of how everything works, all that's left to be done is to get back to the person that invited you to watch this video and be sure to absolutely join them and simply get started in this program immediately. If you have any questions, of course, feel free to ask them at any time. Put your time and effort into it. This is not a guarantee of income, okay? This is simply saying that if you work hard at this program, you will achieve the successes that you're looking for. Nothing in life is free. It takes work, okay? And having a good plan and a good business opportunity that's global and using and following the trends right now, as in the case of Bitcoin, it's a great opportunity for us to take advantage of this. So this is Wayne. I'm going to sign off for now, and we will take some questions.